John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
This is John Ulzheimer. I am a consumer credit expert with almost 30 years of experience in the credit industry. Spent time at FICO, which is the credit scoring company, and Equifax, which is one of the three generally recognized credit reporting agencies in the United States. That sound that you hear is, in fact, the beach. I'm in Clearwater Beach, Florida, attending a credit event. It's going to take me about 10 minutes to get to the beach. This is a long beach. It'll take me a while to get to the water. One of the topics that keeps coming up repeatedly is data protection and how to protect your credit reports. And so there's a variety of options that consumers can take advantage of when it comes to protecting their credit report information. So I'm going to talk about one of them today, which is the credit freeze. And so how does a credit freeze work? What is a credit freeze? So, you can't really go more than a month without hearing about some large-scale data breach, right? So Equifax, Target, Home Depot, MyFitnessPal. The list of data breaches is actually pretty long, and most of our information has, at one point or another, probably been subject to a data breach. And the word is exfiltration, meaning that it was exfiltrated from some sort of a database by some sort of a hacker. And normally when that happens, nothing else happens. But what does happen is the media goes crazy and they like to talk about, well, what should people do to protect themselves? And so one of the things that always is front and center is, well, how do you protect your credit reports to the extent that you want to? And one of the options is a credit freeze, also known as a security freeze. And what occurs when you place a security freeze on your credit reports is the credit reporting agencies will essentially take your reports out of circulation, meaning that unless there is a reason, your credit reports will not be accessible by lenders with whom you do not already have a relationship. So effectively, it prevents any new lender from accessing your credit report and therefore opening some sort of fraudulent account in your name. They're very effective. I have all three of my credit reports frozen, and I recommend that you do the same if you're concerned about the safety of your credit reports. Security freezes are free. There is no cost to place security freezes any longer. There was at one time a cost, but that day has long since passed. And now, because of amendments to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you no longer have to pay for security freezes. You do have to go to each of the three credit reporting agencies independently, Equifax.com, TransUnion.com, Experian.com, to place security freezes. There is no place where you can go and place a security freeze and then have it apply to all three of the credit bureaus. If your credit reports are frozen and you do apply for credit and you forget to remove the freeze temporarily, then the lender is not going to be able to get your credit reports. And so that is, people say that's a downside to the security freeze. I actually don't think that's a downside at all. In my mind, it proves that the security freeze is working and it is effective. So it does, in fact, add one more step to the credit process for you, because you do have to thaw, that's the word people use, you do have to thaw your credit reports in order for a legitimate credit transaction to occur. Obviously, if your credit reports are frozen and someone tries to apply for credit in your name fraudulently, they're going to hit that brick wall as well. The credit bureaus will not return a credit report or a credit score to that lender, and therefore there will be no fraud committed in your name. They may try, but it will be ineffective. Security freezes can be permanent. You can add a security freeze permanently to your credit reports, or you can add a temporary, meaning you can freeze your credit reports for a year. If you feel like that you're not at risk any longer for whatever reason, then you can remove the security freeze. You are in entire control of the freeze. There are some exceptions as far as accessing the reports. So obviously lenders with whom you have an existing relationship can still access your credit reports for the account management process, meaning they can look at your credit reports periodically to make sure that you're still an acceptable risk for them. And second is if a debt collector is trying to collect a debt from you, they will still be able to access your credit reports as part of the debt collection process, meaning if they're doing some sort of skip tracing, trying to find you, trying to check the address on your credit reports, they will still be able to do so. One of the myths about credit freezes is that it prevents lenders from reporting information about you to the credit bureaus, and also prevents collection agencies from reporting information about you to the credit bureaus. And so one of the credit repair, strategies that you hear about sometimes is, well, if you freeze your credit reports, then collections can't hit your credit reports. That's factually wrong. That's inaccurate. The security freeze does not, and it was never intended to prevent lenders or debt collectors from reporting information to the credit reporting agencies about you. It was always intended and exclusively intended to prevent lenders with whom you do not have a relationship from pulling your credit reports. So let's make sure we just clarify that so there's no confusion and that you don't have unreasonable or incorrect expectations or assumptions about the efficiency or effectiveness of a security freeze. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to get to them. Thanks a lot for watching and have a great rest of your day. We'll talk again soon.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.